All right, now that the rotary's out of the RX-8, I have the LS completely torn apart. It's just the way it was given to me. Otherwise, I would have done a video on disassembling the LQ4. So here I have, let's get some better angle on this. So we have the pistons, main caps, crankshaft, and that's pretty much all we're going to be reusing. So I have a sheet for all the specifications to fill out after we measure everything, and just to make sure everything's good and within spec, and that way when I go to order the bearings for the crankshaft, main caps, or the main journals, and the connecting rod bearings, and as the camshaft bearings too, just to make sure we get the right sizes for that, and then I can go ahead and order all new bearings for this motor. I already have pretty much all the gaskets and seals and a lot of other parts for this motor coming. I ordered it through my job, so hopefully it should be here hopefully by the end of the week, or maybe next week or something. And then yeah, just get these parts measured up and order the rest of the parts, and in the meantime I'll be deep cleaning the rest of the motor. So going into a hot tank, and then a blasting cabinet. I have a soda blaster, and like baking soda, and glass. So whatever's not going to be internal to the motor will be soda blasted, or glass sand blasted, and then if it's internal to the motor, it'll be soda blasted and then cleaned again after that, just to make sure we don't have any foreign objects inside the motor when we go to assemble it. So let's get to it and start measuring most of this stuff. I'm not going to show every single thing I measure, just kind of like a quick go over for most of the stuff. So for the pistons, we're going to use a micrometer. It's always good practice just to calibrate it, just to make sure it's this one's off just a little tiny bit. And for the pistons, I since the motor was already torn apart, I don't know which piston went into which cylinder, so I'm just going to go over and measure. You want to measure the side skirt on these pistons, right? Like try to get a good average. I'm just going to go over and just measure all of them, and if one kind of seems out of place, then we'll replace that piston. But we're just kind of measuring just to make sure they're all pretty close to each other. I'll show you guys real quick. The crankshaft, I just finished getting it all done. So we come in here and just basically just put it on each main journal, wherever you're measuring, and it's kind of hard to do this with just one hand, but basically try to get the outermost diameter for the area that you're measuring. Come on. There we go. And then we take that, and it reads, come on buddy, 2.55, this one's a little bit higher, but it's 2.559 inches, which we have the specifications. Let's see, right here, 2.558 to 2.559, and we just measured all of them, and they're all 2 and 4 were 558, but 1, 3, and 5 were 559. And then the pistons, they're all within spec. They do have a little bit of wear because the material isn't here anymore, but they're good for what we need to do. And I went ahead and started doing the crank. So now I'm going to go back to the crank and do the connecting rod journals, and do each one and mark that down. And then once I'm done the actual crank, I'll go through and do the connecting rods and then turn the block upside down. I should do the bores just to double check the cylinder bore, and then I'll flip it upside down and torque the main caps down and check that dimension as well. And then once I have all the numbers written down, I'll be able to do all the math on everything and see if there's anything out of spec. But yeah, once I have all the measurements written down, I can go back over and do all the math on it and see if there's anything out of spec. But I mean, most likely this thing looks good, so I doubt I'm gonna have to get anything oversized or in case I have to do any machine work or anything like that. But it's always good to double check. You know, the motor's apart right now, so there's no point in trying to rush this to get it done. I mean, the motor's just laying here, so it just makes sense just to do it now. So I'm gonna go back over and just get all this stuff done, and then yes, I'll let you know if I find anything odd or out of the ordinary. All right, get back to it. Hey guys, just wanted to show you something I noticed for these LS blocks. I don't know if all of them are like this, but so far I know LQ9s and LQ4s are like this. So they have a first design, and then they also have a second design measurement for the second and for camshaft bearing bore. So if you notice, this one is 2.329 inches for maximum spec, and the other one is 2.319 inches. So if you're going to order your bearings, just make sure you know what your bore diameter is. The camshaft is going to be the same diameter, so it's actually the bearing is thicker or thinner based on first or second design. So the one I have is actually a let's see what we have, a first design. So this is a 2-inch micrometer, and we have 2.317. We don't need to get deeper than that, but 2.317 for mine. So I'm right there. And basically what you want to do just get yourself a T-bar. Get yourself a T-bar like this, and I kind of just stuck this. Let's turn my flashlight on. It's kind of dead. So you take your T-bar, put it down into the camshaft number 2 bearing bore, spring it open, and since I still have my bearings in there, let's see. There we go. So I actually went and did it right on this outside lip. I have yet to take my bearings out yet. I'll do that once I clean the motor. But you can catch it. You can catch it right on the lip before you take your bearings out if you want. But yeah, like I said, the difference is only 1/100th, 1/1000, yeah, 1/100th of an inch. So yeah, just make sure you pay attention to that, or I'm sure you could always just order the first and second edition camshaft bearings, and once you actually go to replace them, whatever ones you don't use, I'm sure you can just return them, as long as you don't, I guess you have to measure them anyway, but yeah, everything else kind of measured out. Paper's kind of trashed with all the stuff I was writing on. But yeah, the crankshaft is super solid. Everything was pretty much brand new specifications. Camshaft measured good, so it's not like the camshaft had to be oversized or anything. It's going to get a new camshaft, probably, most likely a Brian Tooley camshaft. Pistons are good, getting new piston rings, new bearings, hardware. And then you just got to clean all the parts, order the new parts, and start putting this motor together. The only thing I have left to do is pull the transmission out, and the torsion bar or the torsion beam, drive shaft, and the exhaust, just to make room. And then once I get the motor prepped, I'll probably start tearing this stuff apart just to give myself more room to put the motor in there. I think I'm going to end up making my own motor mounts just so I can get this positioned where I want it to. And yes, I'm going to want as much room as possible. And I still need to figure out what oil pan to run. I gotta see what everyone else is running, and then we'll go from there. But yeah, this is the end for tonight. Everything's just waiting for parts and clean the motor. So hopefully everything comes in pretty good and gets here on time. I'm hoping for a quick turnaround on this swap, and yeah, can't wait to get this thing running. Alright guys, see you next time.